let's talk about Trump. Do you remember, Russell, that when he got into power in 2016, it seemed like everybody in Britain absolutely hated him, particularly, of course, the bien-pensant, the great and the good, people like Sadiq Khan and all that. Well, they still do. But the people of this country, there's been a poll, you know, and after his whirlwind of activity in Washington, all those executive orders, I'll deport every migrant, I'll close the borders, no more 107 genders, just 2, net zero is over, all of that, law and order is back, and so on and so forth. There's been a poll here in this country, and the British people absolutely love his policies. This time, they can't get enough of old Donald. There's been a change of heart. We want Donald as a leader, don't we?
Well, we do, and I guess that change of heart, I think it's for 2 reasons, Kev. First of all, I think the way that Donald Trump has conducted himself over the last few months in the run-up to the election and since is he's definitely more mature. I think he's just a more mature politician, more sensible.
More experienced.
More experienced.
Palpably, you can feel he's a much better politician.
Yeah, more confident, and he knows the ropes. But I think the other massive change, of course, is here. And that change is that, you know, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, we weren't in such a bad place, if you remember. So we had no need to have to turn to a, you know, almost a kind of patriarchal figure like a Trump or whoever to look to as a means of righting wrongs by way of reinstalling common sense, if you know what I mean. Now we look across the Atlantic and we see what he's done in literally, what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks since inauguration, and nearly 200 executive orders. Almost all of them are reversing what Biden did. Most of them were woke fest type things that he's kind of unwound. But the other thing, of course, is what we want to see in a politician is exactly what Trump is doing, which is decisiveness. He is being decisive. He said in the run-up to the election, I'm going to do these things: border, inflation, immigration, crime, the people that he's put in place in terms of cabinet, and obviously some of those rather surprising people. And literally within the first 10 days, he did everything that he said he was going to do.
He made the announcements, I mean, we've got to see them actually take
but he's
effect.
doing it. He's sent the military to the border. He's turned off the app within 5 minutes that helped, you know, illegal immigrants as soon as they got here. He has been decisive. I mean, yes, some of them are announcements, but you've
got to be careful. I mean, I agree with you. I totally agree. Very impressive. You know, a whirlwind of activities, signing those executive orders and saying no more pussyfooting about I'm going to do these things, and that is very encouraging. You know, I heard some Labour apparatchik this morning on I think it was Julia Hartley-Brewer's show, just sort of saying about our migrant crisis, when she said, well, why don't we just do what Trump's done and start deporting people and turn the boats around? Why don't we just start doing that? Oh, what, you know, that's not practical. It's very complex. Well, somebody like Trump has come in and say, it's not complex, and it can be practical. These politicians tend to make their own problems.
Well, because they don't want to make tough decisions.
Yeah, and they don't want to actually confront the reality of what's going on. As you say, they're scared to make the tough decisions in case it all goes wrong. So, yeah, I mean, it turns out that Brits love the idea of closing down our borders. They love the idea of deporting every single illegal migrant that we've got.
Having 2 genders.
Right away. They love the idea that there's blokes and there's women, guys, men and women, and nothing else. You know, this thing about, oh no, gender means different to sex. No, it doesn't.
No.
The meaning of gender has been given a new meaning. Gender used to be, you know, sex, of course. The word sex has got 2 definitions. One, of course, is sex, you know, that thing that some people like having now and again, and I've heard tell. And the other thing is, of course, that it represents whether the biology of whether or not you're male or female. What sex are you?
Your chromosomes.
Okay. So in the past, that used to be the same meaning for gender. What gender are you? That was a question that meant, are you a man or are you a woman? Are you male or are you female? Now all the wokeries, the wokerati, no, genders have got a very different meaning. Gender is what you want to be. There are 107 genders. There are 123 genders. No, there aren't. There are two. Let's restore gender to what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah, gender is simply biology. It's XX chromosomes or XY. It's as simple as that. It's female or male in that order. It is not personality. It is not character. It is not how you decide on a Monday morning to identify, whether it's a man wanting to identify as a woman or vice versa, or indeed as a penguin or a hamster. It's pretty much the same thing. It is not that. But yes, as you say, the lines have got rather blurred. So yeah, look, Trump being decisive, you know, he has made a lot of decisions that he has already enacted by way of what we're talking about, really, the gender definition. I understand today, I think he's issued another load of orders, including him banning transgender people from the military. That's happened. He's done that today.
Yeah. So there's that. Also, if you've got one of these passports that's been altered or
well, like the police force in Britain, where you can have 17 warrant cards with different genders
if you're a biological bloke but you've decided to identify as a woman, you're American, and that's been incorporated into your passport, Trump won't let you back into the country if you leave. He says you've got to have a passport saying your proper biology. So all of that claptrap is going down the drain. And British voters, a bad headline, by the way, in the Daily Telegraph of all papers, a newspaper I usually approve of. It says British voters actually back Trump's policy. Here's the proof. Well, what do you mean actually? Why is it actually as if it's surprising that they back these policies?
Yeah.
So Donald Trump is all the rage here in Britain. Do you back his policies? Let me know. 03444991000. Wouldn't you like to have a leader who got things done? That's what they don't like doing anything, politicians. Oh, it's very complicated. Wouldn't be practical to do this. It's too complex just to solve this problem with one stroke of a pen. Mainly it isn't. And Trump is kind of proving that. Having said that, though, as I said, Russell, we got to, you know, I approve of his whirlwind of activity, but so far we're still in the announcement phase.
So let me ask you a question.
How's he going to get rid of, shall we say, 8-9 million illegal immigrants who aren't in prison? Because the ones he's deporting so far...
Well, he's rounding a lot up. Let me ask you a question.
In prison.
Who is our Trump?
Huh?
Who is our Trump?
Well, I think it could be Nigel Farage.
Rupert Lowe?
Well, I don't want to cause division between Rupert and Nigel. No, I think it won't be Rupert Lowe. Nigel Farage will keep hold of the leadership of the Reform UK party. Reform UK are a smart outfit. They're not going to ditch their golden goose, are they?
But you're not saying...
He got them to where they are.
But you're not saying Kemi Badenoch, you're not saying Robert Jenrick.
Oh, God. I'll give Jenrick more...
I'm being mischievous.
I'll give Jenrick more time of day than I would Badenoch. Badenoch is just not the right person for this situation.
She's had a bad start.
She believes quite clearly that all she's got to do is sit around because there is a natural two-party system. Well, Kemi, if you want a bit of advice, you better keep watching that two-party system, because I think you agree, Russell, it may be disintegrating before our very eyes.
Well, it's a one-party system that most of us don't want.
Yeah, so be careful, Kemi, because while you look away, everything is changing. It really is.